I will never forget this incident that a dear man of God shared with me, which he witnessed firsthand. It was in the year 1986 when Dr. Billy Graham had organized a conference for evangelists in Amsterdam. So this minister of God from India, who's a very dear friend of mine, was invited to be a representative from India at this conference. So one morning, or either a morning or afternoon session, an ordinary simple evangelist from Africa was to address the plenary session. So no big name speaker was assigned for that session. So they were all seated, and this evangelist friend of mine was seated on the second row behind the first row where speakers always sit. So as they were all waiting for the session to begin, just about a few minutes before the session began, Dr. Billy Graham entered into the auditorium. And he came and he sat on the first row, on the seat where he usually sits. The MC of the day began to shiver when he saw Billy Graham in the meeting. So he nervously looked through his schedule to see if Dr. Graham was assigned to speak that day. So when he double-checked to see and was made sure that Dr. Graham was not scheduled to speak that day, and he was still surprised why did Dr. Graham show up. So he went and greeted Dr. Graham and sat beside him, and very meekly asked Dr. Graham, says, "Sir, I'm sorry, you're not assigned to speak this afternoon. Did you come by mistake?" And the evangelist friend of mine was sitting right behind Dr. Graham, overheard the entire conversation, and this is what he overheard. Dr. Graham said, "I have come to hear what God will speak through this man of God." So that shocked this evangelist friend, because the speaker that day was an unknown, ordinary evangelist from Africa. So not only Dr. Graham sat in the meeting, but he also studiously took down notes of what this man of God was speaking. So that incident impressed this man of God so greatly that he then learned the secret to the greatness of Dr. Billy Graham, his humility. See, you're not a respecter of person, whether high name speaker or no name speaker. God can speak through any vessel. Amen. Sometimes even through heathen people, God can speak to you. Have you experienced that? He may be a Hindu person or a Muslim person or totally atheist. When you least expect, suddenly they open their mouth and they speak to you, and deep down in your heart you know that it was God who was speaking through them. Right? So we should not look down upon anyone nor overestimate anyone. If God can speak through a donkey, He can speak through any animal. Amen.